pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Everybody have a chance to look over the minutes. Move it through.
I will second that.
Any discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Everybody have a chance to look at the claims.
That's it. Move to approve.
Second.
Second. Any discussion on claims, all in favor?
Aye.
10444, North River East, voluntary annexation.
Thank you. The petition was presented to the Plan Commission for voluntary annexation concerning the address that the president has identified. This is, I believe, 5.86 acres. The annexation is requested primarily for receipt of utility service, which is available in the area. The zoning of the ground in the county is R2, and the zoning in the town would be R2 as well. Tonight at the Plan Commission meeting, I believe Commissioner Larson is here.
I'm Larson, but yes.
Larson, sorry about that.
That's okay.
At this evening's Plan Commission meeting, the commission passed the annexation on to the council with a favorable recommendation. There's a little wrinkle in the law on annexation. It's a legislative act. It must be passed at 2 successive meetings. So assuming that you adopt the recommendation of the commission this evening, then you would pass it on first reading, and at your meeting on the 9th, it could be passed on second reading, at which time I would have a written ordinance confirming the annexation. If you have any questions, I'll do my best to answer them.
We discussed this at the last meeting, I do believe, this is in the notes. I move to approve it, we go on further with annexation. And pass on the
First
first reading.
I'll second that.
Second. Any other discussion on this? All in favor?
Aye.
Their next thing is to show up at the night.
Yes,
They
I
don't
talked
have to,
to the gentleman who's handling this. They'll be back on the 9th. And we will have the final ordinance.
In old business, will you be discussing appraisals today, Brian?
Pardon me?
In old business, like will you be discussing the
the-
appraisals and stuff?
You approved the retention of the appraisers that I recommended. They've needed about 30 days, give or take. And so I told them to link up with Elaine for access to the building. I'll check up and see where that stands.
Okay,
but
how
it's
about
moving
the
forward.
trees for the copper kettle with Duke Energy?
I actually looked at the tree and took photos and obtained pole numbers, and I will be in touch with Duke.
Okay.
That's a squirrely tree in a very poor position.
Okay.
So hopefully, we can convince Duke to take it down.
Okay.
Any other business? New business?
Pre-dump loans?
There we go.
So this is what was getting sent to everybody?
Just waiting on your approval before I make the copies and get that, as well as the quality on tap report mailed to all the town residents.
Coupon must be attached. Let's see, month of May.
I think it's the same as last year in a way.
Looks good to me. Scale of attendance. I moved to approve we use this, if that's what you need.
I just need the okay.
I'll send them
Just a second. All in favor?
Aye.
I'll take this and turn this in tomorrow. Like.
Okay, I'll start making copies and forwarding it together with the.
And they'll go in the water bill.
No. No, it
They don't get
will
like
go
that
on
anymore?
the quality on tap.
Quality
Yeah.
on tap.
Kinda, that's why I wanted to get it done, so I could get that out and people not just prepared.
Allison Marshall with the FFA.
Hi guys, I'm here with the Morristown FFA chapter to present a fundraiser that we are doing for the new Ag Wing. We are selling pavers that you can put your name on, or maybe the town of Morristown's name on it, or really anything that you want. And I was curious if you guys would like to purchase a paver.
These are pavers.
Yes. There's a QR code on the back that you can either purchase online or we can do the purchase for you. We take credit, debit, and checks.
That's pretty cool.
Like that.
Yeah, that's real cool. I think bigger, better, yeah,
You know, it's the bigger one.
yeah.
Hang on.
I make a motion to go with the new 8 Morristown.
Now, what will it say?
You guys can put town of Morristown or, yeah, it would probably say that unless you guys wanted to say something different.
Town of Morristown, would be fine.
You guys could put established, the year that Morristown was established, maybe.
1822.
I think that'd be great. That would be cool. Town of Morristown.
I got a motion,
I'll second it.
a second. And we're going with the big one?
8x8.
Yep. That was.
All in favor?
Aye.
You just tell me who to write a check to.
Okay,
22, right?
Okay.
22.
thank you guys.
Thank you. Thank you.
Sounds great, guys.
No new business. Morning here. Go ahead.
I don't have anything.
No,
No.
have you guys got the thing worked out on the fire? thing?
I sent all of the paperwork that they requested on like the 20th. So they've had it for 6 days and they haven't gotten back with me yet.
Okay, has Charles contacted you yet?
No,
Okay.
but Aerosols have all of the numbers they've asked.
Can you make sure to have a meeting with them to make sure that we have it by the next meeting because.
I'll follow up again.
You want to call Charles when you're going to be here and then he can just bring you the stuff.
Yeah, that's fine.
So. Okay. Legal.
Well, we've covered some of it, but I'll quickly address more land use issues. As you're well aware, there has been back and forth concerning proposed revisions to the Shelby County Comprehensive. The proposal that was made by a consultant in Shelby County dramatically reduced the acreage within the plan adjacent to Morristown that may be available in the future for commercial and industrial development. This body, as well as the RDC, as well as the Plan Commission, felt that a drastic reduction was not in the best interest of the community. Consequently, our consultant on planning was engaged and interfaced with the county's consultant, and compromise proposals were presented. Basically, and I'm going to speak in round numbers, the county proposal would have reduced the acreage available for commercial industrial from about 1,300 acres down to 75 or 80. And the proposal that was developed by Mr. Stump and Mr. Roth basically proposes to retain approximately 750 acres. There were 3 maps prepared, and I won't go into the nitty-gritty of the maps, but 2 of the maps are acceptable to Morristown. And unfortunately, at last night's Plan Commission meeting, when these proposals would have been approved, the commission was short members. It would have taken an affirmative vote of 5 members to approve, and we had 4 votes. So we'll be back before the Plan Commission on April 22, I believe. And we're optimistic that the votes will be there, that it was well received. Brian Stump presented, I presented, and I was accompanied by Larry, by Dave, by Jesse, by Brad, and I appreciate the support, time and effort people put into this. Another quickie, I have an SRO agreement that Brad has carefully reviewed. We're working on some minor revisions to better reflect the town's position, and we hope that that agreement can be approved and in place in May.
I just have a question, Ryan. I'm sure I asked it in the planning commission, but you would address the 2-mile radius. Is that around all of town?
Yep.
That would be a 2-mile?
Yep.
Okay. Circle.
Yeah, I guess I might as well add that.
From boundary lines, Brian.
Right. The elected and appointed officials of Morristown believe that it's in the best interest of the community to pursue a buffer zone, which is not uncommon, so that the town has input and control over not only the corporate jurisdiction of the municipality, but also adjacent surrounding areas. We anticipate taking the formal action to initiate a petition for a buffer zone that is presented to the county commissioners. And so that's kind of next up.
We need to also be working on a new comprehensive plan, which there's grants available to do that.
Yeah, and that's a 2026 project, and again, that dovetails into consideration not only the buffer zone, but the issues that the county is studying. And there will be a significant reservation, or at least designation within the plan of lands for residential development. In general terms, commercial industrial is sort of north and west and north and east, and then residential south and west. I mean, I'm speaking in very broad terms, but that gives you a little bit of a handle. Do you have any further questions? I'm happy to do my best to answer.
We have to go back next month to see what gets
Yeah.
okayed or not.
Back on the 22nd, so,
Tuesday night, that's it.
yeah, you know, one of those ironic things. It was a lengthy meeting, there were lots of presentations, there was discussion of another ordinance, and because of the composition, the Plan Commission was effectively able to accomplish nothing last night.
Okay. Police.
So everyone has the candidate selection list. We have 3 there, candidate A, B, and C. We have withheld their names for essentially just because they're current employers, just in case they haven't notified them that they're in the process, just out of respect for the candidate. You have the Cliff Notes version of what they've done through both the physical agility and the interview process. I'm recommending candidate A for the deputy marshal position, and then candidate B and C would then move on to the school resource process. The way that's going to work is if you approve these individuals, then they would move on to an additional process with the school as far as interviews with the superintendent, additional background checks, and additional interviews with them.
So you want to hire the deputy first? You guys have a recommendation?
Yeah,
Yeah, this
was,
we have to hire the deputies first, because we don't have any kind of contract with school.
Right.
And the school wants to be involved in their school resource officer hiring, they want to interview as well. They're gonna kind of go with our decision, but they want to interview also.
So we're looking at the deputy now.
And having candidate B and C will give the school two options to look at, so they're not just looking at one.
And they're both got a lot of credentials for that resource officer.
You make the motion, I'll second it. Did you make the motion?
Nobody's made a motion.
I'll make the motion, we hire
Oh.
Just waiting
candidate
questions.
Are you going with A?
A, yeah.
Hey.
Yeah,
Hey.
easy.
You seconded it?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I've already read this.
Any other discussion on candidate A? All in favor?
So I'll give them, that individual, a offer tonight. If they're interested tonight, if I don't get hold of them tonight, I'll speak with them tomorrow, and then we'll make an official announcement if they accept it, and the first meeting in April, which is tonight. For that
It just
individual.
gives them time to let their employers know, and they are blindsided.
Looks
The
like,
employers aren't
If
blindsided.
their employer would say next week, hey, go on, and then do it start sooner, or
We could, yeah, I mean, officially, if you offered the position and agreed to it, yes, they can start.
looking at this, looks like candidate 2 is already an SRO at Morristown, so that would be a no-brainer. And I don't know. if we're gonna-
He's not, B is not at Morristown.
A is,
A is at Morristown.
Hey, is it
B,
Morristown?
B's in
Bill's in.
Shelbyville.
B is,
Oh, that's all, this, oh.
B is not, he's
I
in
got you.
another school
I
district.
got you, got you.
Um,
But could you explain something to me
Uh-huh.
with just the general knowledge you have?
Mhm.
When you're looking at the SRO office, they propose a 70-30 split. So how many hours does that mean at Morristown?
So, that's what the next one, we can jump onto that if you want, as far as the SRO cost sharing. So originally, when we were speaking of the 70-30, I was looking at it from a money side. So then we counter bid to an 80-20. Well, then they explained where they were coming from with that 70-30, and that comes from that they'll spend 180 days at the school, which is 69% of the year, so that's where the 70-30 comes from for the price split, or the money split. They would be at the school 40 hours a week unless school is canceled or there is some type of vacation day, then they would work the road automatically. So let's say, for instance, that Morristown decides to go on a 2-hour delay, and then they would come to work at their regular time, work the road until the school starts, and then if Morristown decides to cancel school that day, then they would just stay on the road that day working.
On the 70-30 split though, are we providing the transportation, we're providing the equipment,
So, the original proposal was that we were gonna split everything. That would include the salary, health benefits, pension, vehicle, and fuel maintenance. And that was the total breakdown of the 70-30. And that was also based on it being a brand-new officer with no experience, so that's where that pay line came in. Now that the candidates that we're looking at each have an excess of 5 years of experience, they're gonna come in at a minimum of 5 years' pay. So on the second page, the larger font is the one that I figured with the correct amounts in it for that new pay. What I was kind of proposing too is maybe we would drop the vehicle fuel and maintenance, just for the only reason that the vehicle's gonna be driven less by an SRO than it would be by a road officer. So there's gonna be less maintenance costs, less fuel usage in that, as it's already a town vehicle, we're already paying that anyway. So if we would reduce that out of that, which is the second box, then essentially we're putting that money back into that pay for the portions the school's paying. But they're essentially, if everything works out as the contract is right now, the school would write us 4 checks a year to cover the total cost of that officer.
The town will have the use of the deputy most of the summer.
Yes.
Summer vacation, spring break, fall break.
Or emergencies that come up, they would let them probably.
Yeah, in the contract, I added that if they were to be called out during the school day, it's no more than 2 hours that they would be away from the school. The school added some verbiage in there that we would have to reimburse the school, if they were gone for a significant amount of time in an 8-hour shift. It's kind of why I put that 2 hours in there, because there should definitely be somebody there within 2 hours for them to get back to the school. That we did not have any, we were not entertaining having an officer at Waldron. What I did request in there is that if they for some reason were short that day, that we would send the Morristown officer no more than 2 consecutive days, and then we would just bring in an officer to work those 2 days if it was an absolute dire emergency that they couldn't get anyone else. But they have, I believe, 6 officers that work down there right now, so that would be a pretty rare occasion for that event.
I would rather stay out of Walter myself. That's
That's why we turned it down before. We've already turned this down.
We already
We're
turned that
looked at
down,
it.
yeah, exactly, we're not
We
paying
did
for
not-
it.
Right.
I think that contract needs to be sent on us so we can read it.
Brian, take a look at it.
You got it already.
Yeah,
I mean,
I only have one
for us
copy
to
with
look
me,
at it.
but I'm happy to send it to Elaine and ask her to distribute it.
what, have you read it?
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think it's a reasonable document, and Brad's review and commentary is very astute. Again, I don't make policy decisions, but it seems like kind of a win-win to me between the community and the school. I guess the bottom line is this: I don't see anything in the document that causes me concern from a legal perspective. And it's a detailed document.
So then you guys would have to start going through that. And we'd have another round of interviews or.
No.
No, they already have
Yearly
2.
contract,
Though, right? So what would happen if we didn't get it, if we didn't do the next year? I
He
mean,
doesn't have a job?
that, we'd have that in place.
We have to do
job.
that.
Is that in the contract now about? how
So
long
in the
contract's
current
for?
contract, it says that if they are to resign or be fired, that the town of Morristown will provide somebody within 90 days to fill that spot. There is not anything in there at the end of the school year, they decide to cancel it, there is nothing in there at this time for that. Because they're essentially still our employees, so that would be up to us to handle that side of it. They're not a school employee in any way, shape, or form. The school is only paying us for the use of that employee. So whatever our policy or procedure would be with that employee would supersede the school.
So what if they don't renew the next year? Who's gonna pay the other 70% of their?
Be a question for the town.
Well, you have to let them go.
Right.
Because the position is
Right.
no
It's
longer.
no longer available.
Yeah, position's out there, it's be a shame, but.
We'd have to be hired knowing that.
And I would say with the current state of grants, there is a large excess of money going into security grants and things like that for schools, so I can see it as a foreseeable thing. Grants can end at any time, but as far as a funding issue, I don't see it as a funding issue over time.
So then, you got the 2 candidates for that. So you guys need to, in what period of time do we need to make, you guys need to make?
We've already
made
made
it.
both of them. We're recommending B and C be sent to the school
Right.
for review, for them to interview
Okay.
and make a decision on candidates B and C in this report.
So that's what you guys want to do?
Our recommendation would be B, but we will send them 2 so they can.
So that we pick 2 for them to have an option, and we pick the other 2 best candidates that we felt
So,
to move forward.
The only thing I think we need to discuss is the pay share, so we can move that forward to the school, which one that we're willing to go forward with, so they have an idea, because of course, one of the questions is how much it's gonna cost them moving forward.
okay.
So that would be the only other thing I would ask for tonight, so I can pass that pay on to that pay scale on them, which one we wanted to do.
95,000 or 90,000?
Yes.
Which they would either be 60, almost 67 or
63,
62, yeah.
62.
And they were originally at 61
Yes.
with the original plan.
Yeah, so if we were to drop the vehicle, we're only $1,000 roughly, difference even with the higher pay.
Drop the car.
Parked 180 days out of the year.
Yeah. I mean, it's not going anywhere.
Well, it won't be now because they'll be using it as a town officer.
But the SRO doesn't work.
For the
We'll
first
have-
60 days, for the first roughly 60 days till they go to the school, they would work the road.
And then in the summer, they'll be our employees, so they'll be driving their car.
Right, but for school days, it's just parked.
Right, that's why I say go to the,
So what do you guys gotta do to move all this forward?
It's just decide which one to.
decide
Yeah,
which
we
one of
just
these we're gonna go
need
with.
Which one of these two on the back page we want to go with?
The no vehicle or with the vehicle?
And the way I came up with that was the total cost of using mine, total cost of fuel at retail, which of course we pay less than that, and then 3 oil changes a year, which is roughly what we do. So
So this is more based on your usage?
Yes.
So it would be,
Because we don't have any base to go off
Right.
of for
Right.
anybody else.
So that's gonna be less than that.
yeah.
I
You
would
still
say
have to make sure that the contract
Yeah.
with Walden is taken out.
Right,
Right.
it's not in there, is it?
Pardon me?
Just for, it was just on an emergency,
Yeah,
right?
just emergency.
Yeah, and again, Brad's referenced that it is an emergency type situation. This is a Morristown contract.
Okay. I'm gonna make that foremost and forward that it's a Morristown contract. I'm okay with the no-cost vehicle.
Okay. I'll make the motion.
Second.
No discussion on this? All in favor?
Aye. I'll notify candidate or B and C that they're moving on to the next process. And the superintendent already had all the candidates' names, so that's who's moving on. The next thing, I submitted evidence to the state lab on Monday, unbeknownst to me, because I have been involved in doing that before. There was rule changes at the state lab that any powdered substance needs to be double bagged in a clear plastic bag when it's submitted. We did not have that equipment to be able to do that, so I purchased that online. If I would have went with the prices that the county gave me, I was around probably $500, and I was able to obtain it for $175, just by shopping around and picking out alternatives. I would like to put a shorter barrel on the rifle that goes into the Silverado because of the simple fact it's going to be mounted vertical in between the seats, so it needs a shorter barrel to fit in there. It's something we talked about before when we ordered them. It's just something that we didn't do before. I would order that and then I would install it myself, looking between $250 and $400 on the absolute high end for that.
Okay.
Then I'll be attending Chief School in April. They did finally submit the tuition to me. It's $275 for that, and then the hotel will be $420.85. And that's hopefully the price without taxes. There may be some movement in that price. I'm going to see if we can use some of our credits at the academy to pay for the Chief School, eliminate that cost also.
Good.
You can use the debit cards to go that.
Okay.
Use your,
Okay. I can do that.
unless you want points.
Yeah, I'm sure good. And so far this month, we've actually had 71 calls this month in town. The sheriff's department took 51 of them. We took 20 of them. So we've had a lot of calls in town this month. The sheriff's department's been doing a lot of traffic up here. We've had some complaints on traffic from individuals leaving Bungie. Just today, or yesterday, we had another complaint of them running the stop sign at 500 East and 52. So I was actually sitting out there today, but they have been working traffic up here. They made 15 traffic stops up here last month. And then I just had 5 citations last month. My mileage so far is 950 with 832 that's control. You might got any other additional questions?
Good.
Thanks, Brett.
Thanks, Brad.
Thanks, guys, for working on this. Okay. Christie's up, fire department, right?
I did, Rob was not able to meet on Monday. I did meet with Stephen and Brandon. We do have 2 candidates, and we will be interviewing them. They're setting up the dates right now, possibly April 7th, but just to let you know, so we'll have, interview both of them, and get back to you.
Thank you. What's up? What's up? Okay. I forgot,
Water.
wastewater. Craig back here. You come on up.
So I just wanted to check and see what we were gonna do street sweeper wise. If we were gonna go with one that chose. That's awesome.
The best one
Yeah. Yeah, it's $1,500 to have it shipped, low boy.
from Pennsylvania.
Yes.
How much
was
was
that
that one?
49,950.
Is that including the shipping?
No, that's before shipping.
And how much was shipping again?
1,500. Yeah. But we will have to, that will be sent on a step deck trailer. It was $1,500 cheaper to do that. So we may have to call Davis to hoist it off the trailer. I think we'll still be money ahead. And I was gonna try to find a ramp somewhere around town to unload it, but
You
it'd
got
be
the
in
markings?
3-wheel. Yeah, it'd be a 3-wheel. I'd be a little, I don't wanna lose it coming off the trailer right after we just bought it.
Appreciate that.
So it's a little safer, to just try to get it offloaded.
I'm impressed with you
Thank you.
making a smart choice.
I appreciate that.
We're just gonna say, make a motion, go and buy it. Move to make the purchase.
So, any other discussion on it? All in favor?
And
Thanks,
then,
Craig, for your research on
oh, no problem. Then do we want to move the equipment that we're replacing to surplus so I can get that?
Yeah, I said something to him, we're not gonna use this other truck and this sewer jack, we should make it surplus and put it on Rock Mountain or.
Yeah, well, I'll get some pictures and get them posted.
Craig was talking here a while back about we call it a hot box.
Yeah,
I saw that
asphalt
guy-
hot
I saw
box.
that guy
Yeah,
downtown's got pretty nice, and I didn't know, we might be able to do some trading or.
yeah, if they're willing to, I wouldn't be against it, or I could even talk to the people where we got the vac truck from where that had them.
That's something we could use, you know,
What is it?
hot box,
Hot box, so it's
an
a,
asphalt.
Yeah, we talked about it years ago, yeah.
Like the state used goes around.
with us doing a little more asphalting ourselves, pothole wise,
Very
it's
good.
not a bad idea.
So, we try to make the other stuff surplus.
Yeah, go ahead and make those moves if you can.
Okay.
A motion,
Entertain a motion.
motion second.
Yep.
All in favor?
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now, I should bring this up when we're on this. We had a big water main break, going into the new treatment plant. And, yeah, Craig was gone in Ohio, and we dug it up. But I think we should all thank Caleb Osborne for bringing the crew down here. The city of Greenfield fixed it, basically. And, I think they're gonna charge us for the parts. But they brought 3 guys down here and fixed it.
Wow, awesome.
So I
Thank you,
think,
Caleb,
yeah,
Thank you,
I
Caleb.
think
and
we,
everybody else.
Can we pay those guys?
well,
We get-
that's another thing I was wondering about. Morgan, the city of Greenfield come down here and fixed the thing.
Yes, Gary told me I have to pay them back.
Caleb said we didn't owe them nothing except parts. But we
Yes.
need to figure out something, who works here and pay them something, because those guys work very hard.
Yeah, he said I should be expecting an invoice for Cora in May, and that's what he told me, and to pay it, because that's from the Greenfield. But I need to just know who I need to pay, because up to $600, they don't have to,
But
I mean, I don't want you to pay them, but just.
I'll find out from Caleb who the 3 guys were.
Okay.
That'll work.
Yep.
Because they done an excellent job, and it just, it is what it is.
Sure. Cost me things.
Are you gonna pay them like a flat rate, an hourly rate?
Yes, also should make sure that they can accept,
Yeah, I'll ask
because
Caleb,
if they were
Already
paid by
paid from,
Greenfield
Yeah.
and we pay them again.
I'll ask him
make
how that
sure
would
that-
work, so we don't get them in a problem.
Yeah, I
Right.
don't wanna get them in trouble for money,
Try to
but
put the interest or something silly like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll call him tomorrow and figure what would actually work for everybody.
Okay.
Okay, we're at Park.
Guys, I got a call from the lady, she's been talking, Trim got a hold of her, wanting to know where we wanna put this pickleball court. You guys' thought here, I'm looking at the north end up there by the, playground. There was a spot laced on there, you said okay, good. We were talking about a spot before soccer fields, were right here. And I think that's a pretty good spot, plus, as Christie had worries about how we would get back here or up here, depending upon where we put other, activities such as the new, community center. I think there's gonna be ballparks and stuff back there eventually, someday in the long future. An amphitheater, I think, was designed back there. I think this is a pretty good spot. And we just.
How big are they over there?
I don't know. I've seen them. They're smaller than a tennis court. Not much.
How big are they, Dean? 20 by 40 or something?
I have the dimensions here somewhere. Well, I did, 2 courts, so it'll be 60 foot by 72 foot.
60 by 72 for the two?
I think that's not mechanic.
No, not.
I don't know. Do you remember what age played soccer on that side?
it was the limit.
They don't use it.
Now they don't.
No, I know they don't use it anymore, but I was gonna see if I could figure out what that soccer field dimension was.
If we do that, we almost need a walking path to them too somehow, so you could.
Get to them.
Can I add to that? Ralph was, I'm sure you guys all know this already, but Ralph was great to go to the Shelby County Recycling District and they agreed to fund us $60,000 for asphalt for the pickleball court. Originally, Crim's quote came in, I think it was like $49,000 for the pickleball court itself. So since we have a little bit extra, I thought we could do a walking path to it and then as well as add some additional parking spaces there.
Right.
So I talked to Kevin and asked him, I just ballparked it, he said, 20 parking spaces. I have no idea what it costs. So he also let me know that he has contacts he can quote it, including installing the nets. So it'll be all ready to go except for the fence, and I have a separate quote for the fence, so I'm not worried about that. So he wants to meet sometime this week, if possible, to figure out where exactly you want it. And then he's gonna come back with a revised quote, including installing the nets and then additional parking spaces. So if we are allowed to use the entire 60 on the pickleball and parking, then I'll just see however many parking spaces we can get for the money. If you wanted it for something else,
You're right there.
I'm okay with the parking as well.
okay. So, once you finalize your location, I'll meet with Kevin and we'll map it out and he can get us a revised quote. Are you, is there any, hesitation to the number of parking spots you want in there, or can we just get whatever we can for the money?
Well, to me, whatever you can, because even if pickleball's we can play, and people might use them for
Right.
shelter.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
20's not that much.
It's 101 feet from the, look, Brad's measuring it. 101 feet wide.
That might help that shelter too.
I like it.
That's what you guys wanna do.
Is it like, just kind of a silly question, but I don't lose is it enclosed? Or
Yeah,
like, I think it's.
It's open.
it's-
It's got a tennis.
It's got a fence.
Just wanna make sure that it
Like a
doesn't fall on the
tennis
road.
We're
Yeah.
gonna move it back to the west as much as we can.
More over towards that swing set. That's gray square is an old swing set that's still
Yeah.
functional. has
Yeah, they're
swings
still
on it.
using it.
But yeah, it might be able to go that way a little further.
I can get together with them, yes. if you want.
You guys are the
I was gonna
park
say,
committees.
You guys,
can they do Friday morning?
After 10, I come right from work.
I can bring, as long as I can bring the variants.
Sure.
Oh, no, I'm not here Friday.
Oh,
I'm out of town.
You can't be here.
tomorrow? Same time?
Are nuts
I'm gonna
permanent?
make it work.
They come in,
They take the nets down in the winter,
Okay.
I think it's
usually.
just like tennis courts.
They'll let tennis courts and roll them up and put them away, bring them back.
Let's, after this, let's talk about it and see
Okay.
what we can come up with.
He said Friday morning he was available. I don't know what his schedule is for tomorrow.
We're leaving Friday morning, let me find out what time. We might be able to do Friday morning.
I can be there.
another question after you guys, when you're looking at this part thing over, if we do this community center, I'm ready to get going on it, like immediately. So somebody's gonna have to go out here and look at this field that makes farming, and we very quickly better start putting some stakes or some flags. So we're not buying crops back from him if he puts them in. He's gonna go down in his, property.
Right.
Can't we have like a fact finding meeting at the park with all of us?
That's
Do
fine.
that?
I don't care how,
Everybody can do something like that?
I just like to do it before he starts doing the crops.
Yeah, that's gonna happen as soon as it gets to be dry day.
So you guys just tell me.
Is everybody available to meet?
After 10 in the morning.
You're gonna,
Damn, it's the hardest one.
I'm the hardest one, 'cause
she does it, please.
I know, I live the closest, and, I mean, yeah, evenings are,
At least it'll be sunny.
it's probably longer than you wanna wait. April 17th, I'm home for the processing that field. Not for the football, but for the community center and looking at that field. I'm home all day on the 17th, but that's
He's gonna be getting up.
like 3 weeks
Close.
away. So I guess other than that, if you can pick a day, I'll see what I can do.
Would you have time to Fridays or whatever?
She's leaving.
Yeah, I don't know what, I'll have to reach out to my sister and find out what time she wants to leave town.
17th?
I hate to wait that long, because I don't know when he'll get in the field and start
Oh, I'd
preparing
be
it.
worried.
So I guess with that,
Well,
if you pick another
talk about it
day,
tonight. Discuss it. So we don't have-
we can go out there, yeah.
You guys can decide, I don't care.
I'm around. You guys go choose.
We could do a Friday afternoon, like 1 or 2-ish.
I can get there.
Can you do that?
Yeah.
On a Friday afternoon? Not this Friday, but maybe next Friday?
That way then we
Okay.
can flag that, and then we can tell him that
So the following
we're taking
Friday?
that.
Yeah, which is what, the 5th?
Okay, April 5th.
Is that what it is?
April 5th is the
Want me
4th.
to call
So it's
you?
April 4th is
April
Friday.
4th.
4th.
April 4th.
Okay, what time?
If we could do like 2-ish. I probably can get the grandkids picked up by then, and I don't have them.
She said too.
If that works for everybody else.
You got this number, can you call
Call
me?
me, I'm not doing anything.
Yes.
Publish this? Our
It's
recommendation?
just a fact finding.
That's what I'm like, do I
Brian,
have to-
can't we just do fact finding, all go to the park to check how we want to put the community center in, is just far as like, the look, like just the, is it gonna go this way, that way?
Yeah, I mean, so, just a couple of things, because I was paying attention despite what I
Come on, Brian, you were asleep.
You've got two things converging here. You hope to sell the Craney building and finance the community system, generate those proceeds. Okay, so 30 days, give or take, appraisal, 60-day statutory bidding process. You're not gonna have any funds available for 90 to 120 days, okay?
Right.
Now, as to siting, it's your park, and you can decide to put whatever, wherever. If you want to have a discussion or get additional input into that, but there's no magic process that's necessary whatsoever.
Right, do I need to put a notice out
All
for the
of
meeting?
us go walk in the park together and talk about it without it being published as a meeting? Or does
You
it have
need
be
to give
published?
notice because
That was mine.
and let me verify this. I mean, the Public Access to Meetings Act has numerous provisions. There is a provision, as I recall, for like a site visit, but it's not discussion, okay? If that
Two
makes
at
sense.
one end of each field, one in the middle.
Well, you can go out, you can look, but you can't make any decisions. Let me check the statute real quick.
I mean, it's April 4th.
That's what I'm like, let me just know
Time
that.
to
And what was the time you were, in case I
2
need to?
o'clock.
Okay. I just want to make sure we do it all right.
Right, right. I mean, we've got time to post it if it has to be posted.
Yes.
And that's
Yeah.
whatever we have to do.
I will verify, just so you're on the safe side.
Revitalization. Nothing. Miscellaneous.
Move to adjourn.
Move to adjourn. A second. Second. All in favor? Thanks for coming.
I don't understand why.